Doyle here for Anonymous Geek. I'm going to walk you guys through Hearthstone. Played this since, I want to say, second tier beta. Since beta, there have been almost no user interface changes. The only changes that I've noticed have been some class balancing. It was pretty apparent going into the game that the Hunter class was way overpowered. Everyone was playing a Hunter just because there was so much you could do with it. Secrets can actually make or break the early game, so you want to have some of those in your deck if you can, but really only if they serve a purpose. Don't just throw them in there for the sake of throwing them in there. The biggest thing I take away from these games is you really shouldn't put too much thought into it. It's really made to be fast-paced and fun. See, here's another issue you really, if you can, you want to try and avoid it, because here I am sitting on turn 4 with already 2 7-mana cards. So I'm at a disadvantage, a serious disadvantage, because I have 2 cards that I can't play, and some other cards that I'm waiting to play, like Creature Control, and there's a time and a place to play certain other cards, such as the Drake that I've got in my hand. That is their Drake. Sitting with 3 7-mana cards in my hand, definitely at a disadvantage, and that's primarily just from luck of the draw, or in my case, unluck of the draw. Unfortunately, at this point, I knew I had already lost due to the hero ability of the Hunter. He has that hero ability of spending 2 mana and dealing 2 damage directly to the hero. I had no life gain cards or creature abilities that would grant me life gain, and so I just decided to go ahead and just wipe out what he had, attack, and unfortunately his secret came back on me, and I sort of killed myself in this instance. And you may see instances where I do play spells that aren't necessarily in the best favor, especially if I'm losing, due to daily quests that may involve killing a certain amount of creatures, casting a certain amount of spells. So the gold makes it well and worth it, especially if you know you're going to lose, go ahead and do what you can to try and fulfill those daily quests for that daily gold. Here you have some more of the user interface here. Your cards are actually kept in an interactive and searchable album. For instance, you can actually just search for a creature ability such as spell damage, and it will show you every card that grants that ability, which are mostly creatures. The option of crafting cards based on materials that you get from disenchanting cards, and when you actually inspect a card, you'll notice that there is in the lower left there's the amount of materials you get from disenchanting that card, and also you can see to the immediate right of that the material cost of crafting that card. Strong opening hand for me as a mage, and given my playstyle, this is actually great. Couldn't ask for a better opening hand than something like that. see that that great opening hand I got really put me in a strong position against this Druid, which, don't get me wrong, is a class that I absolutely love. But now I'm sitting with 3 creatures that have spell damage +1 and a creature that lowers my spell cost. So not only can I pump out larger spells, but I can pump them out for less mana. Here I'm sitting with some interesting options, but my side of the battlefield is full. So I'm actually going to do something pretty interesting. I'm actually just going to kind of throw away this gnome that had the battle cry of drawing a card, so that I actually play another Sorcerer's Apprentice, which again reduces the cost of those spells, so I can play more spells. Now this poor Druid at this point is very much done for. I have a lot of options. I can still polymorph his large taunt creature there, and I'm set up with 2 taunt blockers so that if I were to not make it this turn, I could still survive another turn. And daily quests are really nice, such as the gold cards you get for advancing your character up through the mini levels, and of course daily quests, and then gold for actually winning matches. You could thoroughly enjoy this game without spending any real world money at all. Here I'll show you just how easy it is to buy some of the packs. I'll buy 1 pack with the 100 gold that I have just from purely questing. At this point I had already spent real money on this game as part of the beta test and was rewarded nicely for it. And the warning came out that you may not keep the cards that you had bought, but that you would be recompensated with unopened packs. The game was so polished from beta to open release that they actually just let you keep the cards. Everything was great. They didn't have to do any major changes. And that's something you run into right there, is that when you open up a pack of cards, you get 5 cards, and usually it is 4 commons and a rare. However, you're always guaranteed to get 1 rare. However, you may get a legendary, such as I did there, and sometimes you can get multiple rares. Can sometimes get a second rare, which is pretty nice. How easy it is to quickly construct a custom deck. What I'm going to do is I'm going to throw something together with my new Prophet Velen card that I picked up, which will of course put me at a priest deck, which can be a very potent deck. They have some very wild abilities on the priest. But still, it's actually remained very balanced, but it is definitely a contender. If the initial task of sorting through all of your cards seems a little too much for you, you can actually go through the suggest a card phase, which will show you cards and help you build a well-balanced mana-wise deck that is still pretty good. It custom picks based on algorithms some of the better cards at that cost point, and really helps you build a well-balanced deck. Now what you're seeing here is Taunt. Taunt is a creature ability that can really save your bacon, as you had seen in the previous game. It always helps to have a few in every single deck, even if it's just a couple. Something you can lay down that will basically be a meat shield and absorb that damage for you instead of you getting taken down to 0 as quick as possible. see here is some small pecking damage, which you're going to see really quickly is not the way to go against a priest. Because of their hero ability, they can restore 2 health to either themselves or one of their creatures. And what you're also going to see is that that may have effects, such as being able to draw cards from that Northshire Cleric. So it's pretty much going to put a priest at an advantage. A better way to go in is to definitely go in and just crush, dominate, do big damage, wipe out lots of creatures at once. Traditionally, you're going to see that a mage will fare better against a priest than a druid. That's just kind of the way it is. There are some balancing issues. Well, not really balancing issues. There are some balancing aspects that kind of keep the game in line. And I think that's a healthy thing. What no one seems to talk about, and what you're seeing right now, is that you do actually have a cap to how many cards can be in your hand. And like I said before, the game is not meant to be thought about too much. You're not really meant to hold on to these cards to the very end game. It's supposed to be fast-paced and fun. So you do get penalized if you have too many cards. Then you will, when you draw a card, if your hand is already full, it will be destroyed. Hearthstone is one of the most polished games Blizzard has ever released. It features fast, fun gameplay and great rewards for playing just a few games every few days. Your daily quests really stack up really fast. And if you can go through and do those, you wouldn't really ever need to spend a dime on the game unless you wanted to maybe do some heavy arena play, which unfortunately I didn't get to feature here. And there are lots of things. Maybe if you just wanted to be a more competitive person in the rankings, you might want to buy some packs or buy some dust and things like that so you could craft more cards and things like that. So if you enjoyed this or didn't enjoy this, let us know in the comments below. Be sure to subscribe to our channel. And if this wasn't your cup of tea, there's always Diablo 3, which just released Reaper of Souls. And we have some gameplay featured on our YouTube channel for that, along with an unboxing video as well. So take a pic and subscribe.